North Dakota governor and former presidential candidate Doug Burgum moves up Trump's vice presidential ladder. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, in a shocking turn of events, it appears that Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota is moving up Trump's VP ladder. Yeah, that's right. A governor from North Dakota that, outside of his failed presidential campaign, no one really knows who Doug Burgum is. Well, according to Axios, it appears that Doug Bergum is slowly but surely moving up the VP ladder for Trump. Now, before I continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, to be clear, no one is saying that Doug Bergum is gonna be Trump's VP. In fact, I still highly doubt it. I think he will be in the cabinet in some position, but I just don't see him being the vice presidential pick. But, according to Axios, it appears that Doug Bergum, at least for now, is moving up the ladder to possibly be Trump's VP pick. So let's get into it. North Dakota Governor Doug Bergum is quickly moving up former President Trump's list of possible vice presidential picks because Trump's team believes he would be a safe choice who could attract moderate voters. Now, I agree with this. Bergum is a very safe choice. He doesn't really piss off anyone. Now, does that mean Doug Bergum is as conservative as someone like J.D. Vance, Josh Hawley? No. But the thing about Doug Bergum is he's loyal. From everything I've heard about the guy, he will be a loyal supporter of Trump. Again, he's not, perfect on the issues. There are some issues like LGBT stuff that he's a bit more moderate on, especially for North Dakota standards. You would want someone that's super conservative. But the guy is still good. Like, he's not, as bad as Mitt Romney or Lisa Murkowski. The difference between a Doug Bergum type and a Mitt Romney type is Bergum's really iffy on like one or two issues, but everything else he's pretty generic on. But compared to someone like Nikki Haley or Tim Scott, Doug Bergum is by far the best pick if you want someone that's, I guess, a bit more moderate, though I wouldn't really call Bergum a moderate Republican. Again, there's one or two issues that, yeah, he's definitely a bit more moderate on, but outside of that, he's way better than Nikki Haley. And I would say a little bit better on the issues than someone like Tim Scott. Bergum is on a long list of vice presidential contenders, but Trump's rising interest in the North Dakota governor has been clear in recent weeks, and reveals his latest thinking about how he thinks his running mate could help him with undecided voters. Now, historically, a vice presidential candidate usually doesn't change much. Now, there are rare circumstances where, yeah, the VP pick probably helps or even hurts. For example, 2008. Sarah Palin saved McCain from losing every state. You think I'm kidding? A bunch of voters in a state like Arkansas, the Dakotas, hell, Missouri, they only voted for McCain because Sarah Palin was on the ticket. You think I'm kidding? There's plenty of polls and studies from 2008 that prove that Sarah Palin excited the base just enough to where John McCain didn't get embarrassed in Missouri, the Dakotas, a state like Arkansas. That's a fact. Hell, the polling aggregate swung heavily for McCain after he picked Sarah Palin. So a vice presidential pick, it can be a boost. But in this year, I don't know. Doug Bergum, I do think he might appeal to some of the more moderate Republicans that don't like Trump's demeanor, but they like Doug Bergum because he is overall, like I said, a very nice dude. Someone that people can look at and say, yeah, he's pretty chill. Trump and his wife Melania hosted Bergum and his wife Catherine at Mar-a-Lago for Easter brunch. Two people familiar with the matter told Axios. In recent weeks, the sources said Trump frequently has brought up Burgum's name in discussions with allies. Now, does this mean Trump's gonna pick Burgum? No. But it seems like, at the bare minimum, there's some interest there. Like, hey, Doug Burgum seems like a decent pick that Trump is seriously considering. Again, we're only in April, and this is Trump we're talking about. He changes his mind on the vice president every day. So you don't really know if he's really going to pick someone like Doug Burgum. But it seems like, at the bare minimum, there is some interest here. Two sources familiar with Trump's thinking says he likes Burgum's measured demeanor and his gubernatorial experience, and sees Burgum as a reliable and low drama, which I agree with. It's not like with Mike Pence where he backstabbed Trump at every turn. Remember, a lot of the leaks mysteriously came from Mike Pence's people in the White House. You don't want someone like Mike Pence. Yes, he was useful of getting the Ted Cruz vote, but outside of that, he was not a good pick in 2016 outside of that. Doug Burgum, he's one of those people that you're not going to see that type of crap occur where, oh yeah, he's going to leak a bunch of bullshit to the Washington Post, to the New York Times, whatever newspaper, about the Trump White House. He's not going to do that. Those are similar to the traits cited in 2016 when he tapped Mike Pence to be his running mate. At the time, Pence was Indiana's governor. Which, again, you can argue he picked him because of the evangelical vote. But either way, Doug Burgum, I think, would be way better than Mike Pence's VP. He's going to be loyal. He's not going to stir anything up. But does he add much to the ticket outside of that? That's a problem. You know, if this was a state like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, hell, even a state like Iowa, it would make some sense to pick someone like Bergum. But he's the governor of North Dakota. And people only kind of know his name because he ran for president. Burgum, who's 67, in his second term in deeply red North Dakota, is staunchly conservative businessman and is widely viewed as acceptable to the establishment Republicans, a safe choice to put on the ticket. Which, if you had to pick an established Republican or someone that the establishment kind of likes, you want someone like Burgum. You don't want someone like Nikki Haley. You don't want someone like, hell, even someone like Chris Christie, for crying out loud. You want someone that's going to be loyal and overall is good enough on the issues where he's not going to completely rework the agenda if something bad happens to Trump. I mean, when you talk with the vice president, that's why you have one, just in case something happens to the president. You don't want someone like Nikki Haley where if something happened to Trump and she got in the White House, I mean, as the president, can you imagine what she would do? She would not continue any of Trump's policies. She would just do what the donors say. She would just start World War III with Russia. God knows what she's going to do about anything else. But you don't want that. You want someone that, at the bare minimum, tries to continue the policies of Trump if something bad happens to him. With Doug Burgum, you know, he's not 100% in line with Trump on everything, but it seems like 95% of things Doug Burgum agrees with Trump on. Now, Doug Burgum, like I said, he is not the most conservative option, even for North Dakota standards. He's not someone that you look at and say, yes, he is the most conservative governor. Is he good on the issues? Somewhat. Some issues, yes. But there are some questions here and there about Doug Burgum. Stuff like abortion, he said leave it to the states, aka the Trump stance. On LGBT stuff, that's his one weakness. For North Dakota, you should not be a moderate on that type of issue. You shouldn't. That's the one bad thing about Bergum. There are issues like that where he's fairly weak on. But at the same time, there are issues like Trump is kind of weak on. For example, the LGBT stuff. Even back in 2016, there was some questionable things he said about, transgender people. Now, he did become a bit more conservative in the White House, but still. Overall, I do think Doug Burgum would be a good option. Electorally, I do wonder, how much does he really add? I do understand the theory that, well, since he's not gun-ho on stuff like transgender stuff, abortion, he should theoretically appeal to moderate voters. But at the same time, it's like, will anyone vote for Trump because of Doug Burgum? Maybe if they live in, like, North Dakota, maybe. Like a Democrat that likes Bergum, they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna vote for Trump because of Doug Burgum. But outside of that, in a state like Wisconsin, a state like Michigan, Pennsylvania, hell, states like Georgia or Arizona, does Doug Burgum have much sway? I don't really know. I really think Doug Burgum is just, hey, if the establishment really wants someone for Trump to pick, he would be the best option. He's not going to backstab Trump. He's going to be loyal. I mean, like this article says, Bergum was an early and vocal supporter of Trump's campaigns in 2016 and 2020. It's not like these other Republicans that were never Trump all the way through 2016, but then magically in 2017, oh, we actually supported Trump this entire time. No, Doug Burgum supported Trump right when he won the nomination. When many Republicans said, nah, I'm not going to support him because Orange Man bad. That's why Trump, I think, likes Bergum. Even in 2024, right when he dropped out, he went to endorse Trump. This guy, at the bare minimum, has a friendly relationship with Trump. Now, you might be wondering who I think are the top 5 options for Trump's vice presidential pick. That doesn't mean, I agree with these choices, but as of now, I think the 5 most likely picks, in no particular order, is J.D. Vance, Tim Scott, Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, and Lee Zeldin. I really think one of those 5 is probably going to be Trump's VP. But again, things could change. I mean, last week, everyone thought that, well, Kristi Noem still had a good shot at being the vice president. Yeah, well, she wrote a book about killing dogs, and yeah, any chance she had of being the vice president, out the window. It can change on a dime. Like, next week, we could be talking about someone like Ted Cruz, for crying out loud. It's not going to happen, but you never know. Something crazy like that could occur. But either way, we're probably not going to know until May or June. More likely June, maybe July. Trump changes his mind daily about this, but we just got to see what happens. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.